When did you start to drift into the TV world and in that kind of writing music to picture, and how did you get exposed to that, and how did you go into it?
I mean, for me, it wasn't really a drift. It was just like, it was like, you know, a huge right turn, and I was in the world. I mean, you know, call it fate, you know, whatever you want to call it. But probably about a month and a half out of high school, there was a guy named Charlie Sidner working for Mike Post at the time, who was his engineer slash assistant. And Mike's office is in Burbank, and Charlie was looking for a music store called like Everything Audio. It's like a pro audio music store. And he was off by one address number. He went across the street to the wrong building and walked into my dad's print shop. And so my dad was, you know, just was like, oh, you know, what are you looking for? And he's like, oh, this music store. Oh, your music, you know, what do you do? You know, and he basically shook him down. I still don't know exactly how the conversation went, but before Charlie left, he gave my dad the phone number of somebody who worked at Mike's company, and just basically said, you know, give him a call, maybe they'll be hiring. So I called, and, you know, a couple weeks later, I went down for an interview, and I was hired to help Charlie set up equipment at the bigger scoring dates that they used to do back then. So when I first started, I was paid $40 a session to basically be in Mike's cartage company, because Mike, at the time, they were still doing sessions with about 30, 40 musicians, and he had 3 keyboard setups and an electronic drum setup. And so I would go help Charlie set up those 3 keyboard stations and electronic drum station, and, you know, hang out and be a tech at the session, make sure it all worked. And it was just like an awesome inroad. It was really fun. It was really social, you know, at the time. And so I started doing that, and at the end of that season, Mike hired me as his gopher slash assistant. And, you know, within probably 6 months of that, Charlie left to go do something else. And so Mike offered me the engineering job when I was only 19. And so I was like his in-house guy at 19, and that just kind of led into, you know, being around him writing so many shows and helping him produce the shows. And it led, you know, to me being more interested in trying to write for his shows. And then I think it was maybe a year or two later, he gave me a shot at writing one of the shows, and it just kind of all grew from there.